name is Kevin Rhoads. I'm also known as Tofu or just that guy behind the camera. When I'm not doing this, my hobbies include drawing, D&D, anime, video games, more like Forza or like the racing genre, and then some FPS stuff like that, like CS:GO, Rainbow Six Siege. Oval track racing is something I've always been a part of, just around some way, shape, or form. Been a part of. Favorite character to play, or my favorite? Well, my favorite character to play would. It's a hard one, to be honest, because I like the SMG-11. That's my favorite gun in in Rainbow Six Siege. My personal favorite character is Ella, but for reasons, of course. That's just, come on, you can't beat Ella. She's Polish and everything else, but I did almost convert to Ayana. So, to be honest, actually, now that I think about it, my favorite character, I would say, on defense would be Ella, and on attack, Ayana. Now that I think about it. A little bit better explanation this time.
Not gonna go play a game of round robin with your favorite character this time?
No, I'm not going to play a thing of round robin this time. Obviously, they didn't see that because the footage was not there because, let's just say, somebody forgot to click record.
Yeah, the guy asking questions is a dumbass.
Yes.
That's why I stick to being a renter.
Oh. That one was not asked yesterday. Oh, shoot, now I gotta think. What would be my favorite anime? Well, I can say what my most watched anime is, and that would be Death Note, because I watch that literally religiously. But personal favorite anime. Oh, I don't know. There's a lot of good ones out there, but one that hits all of my marks. See, the thing is I can have my favorite weird one, my favorite good one. I just got to think of what would be the ultimate favorite for me. To be honest, it's a toss-up between three separate anime that are nothing alike. Spice and Wolf, Code Geass, and Death Note. I can't really decide between the three. And they're all from that same era. I have two vehicles. I have a 98 Dodge Dakota, which you've seen, well, which you will be seeing on the channel, obviously, because I might put these out before, I don't know. And I also have a 2002 Ford Mustang.
Why'd you buy the Dakota?
Why I bought the Dakota? Well, I bought the Dakota on a whim because last year I went to the Detroit Gambler, which if you haven't seen that video, those will be out here eventually too. You can actually go watch those on the original channel where we moved from. But last year I went to the Gambler, kind of in the sport track, as a support. I didn't really drive at all. I was kind of just a tag along, per se. And I enjoyed it so much that I told Paul that last year that I would get a Gambler car. Well, the Gambler got pushed back because of all this coronavirus thing, and we found the perfect one for $450, and it was the Dodge Dakota. Well, why you haven't seen the Mustang? Well, to be honest, you haven't seen it in a while because you haven't seen it at all, really. But the plans for the 2002 Mustang is, I'm wearing the perfect shirt for this, drifty boy things. I want to get a grassroots style, kind of higher grassroots style freaking drift build going, and that's going to be something that you guys are going to be enjoying after the Gambler's done, because it has a blown motor in it, and I actually have to finalize the payment today, for a Ford 302 that's going to go into it, and plans on doing some more extravagant things, getting stripped down as much as I can personally and rebuilt. The plans for the Dakota after, well, to begin with, is going to be a daily driver until obviously the Mustang is finished. So it's going to be my get around and everything else like that car. I don't really need to have a daily driver too much because of the situation I have back at home. Is there's a lot of vehicles I can borrow and drive easily for my family, and I personally don't really need it because I can walk to everywhere I need. But I'm going to use it as a daily driver, and I plan to do some more modifications after that, kind of like a Baja pre-runner style stuff going on. High travel, that kind of sort of thing. The high travel deal, probably a roll cage and some other things. Probably a little bit more minor than what the Mustang would be, but that really just depends on how well the channel does.
Right. So we'll have a big brother, little brother scenario there.
Yes.
So, maybe I should have covered this first, but what all do you do for a living anyway?
What I do for a living. I am a non-emergency medical transport, or NEMT driver. I drive people to their doctor's appointments. I am also wheelchair certified, but currently don't drive a vehicle that can put a person inside the wheelchair in the vehicle. It has to be a collapsible wheelchair at the current moment. But obviously I can't drive one that has, like a van that you literally go, oh, put them on the lift and bring them up and put them in the vehicle and strap them down and all that sort of thing. I can do up to that. I do not do stretchers because Indiana does not do stretchers. But yeah, I drive people to their doctor's appointments. I drove a guy either last week or the week before to his triple bypass surgery for his heart. So that was fun. And just stuff like that. Make sure people go to their doctor's appointments, get there, and get all the medical attention they need, and then bring them home. People that can't really drive or are not legally able to drive, stuff like that. I make good money. Make it to, or make it back from the gambler.
And everything in between.
Well, let's just say I hope it makes it back because I'm enjoying the vehicle. I haven't really drove it on the road yet, so I don't have 100% sure. But from what we've been putzing around in the yard and everything, I do believe it's going to make it through the gambler. And I will probably come back a little bit more battle scarred, but oh well. It's got a rusted body on it, so it's okay. As long as it's not the cab itself that gets fucked up, I'm alright. It'll make it back. One way or
even if you full send it.
Oh, I'm gonna full send it no matter what.
Right, so keep you away from the ramps.
Yes, keep me away from the ramps or else I'm going to airborne.
Well,
Be good content.
It might make it. Jeremy's Pontiac did.
Yeah, that's true. That depends on the other two drivers. To be honest, what they let me do and see what happens. And to be honest, if they allow me to full send stuff, because that's kind of the thing is I don't lift. I have no fear when it comes to shit. Well, I have fear, but I just know how to get past fear. For obvious reasons.
Just know that I don't have a tow hitch, so I can't dolly your shit back.
This is true.
I see your hat up there does say Afghanistan War Veteran. 1, thank you for your service. And 2, you want to talk about any of your time in the military?
I will talk about some things in the military. Obviously, I can't tell you all of what happened in the military, but I went into the military after screwing up at college and sitting on my ass for about half a year, and then joining the military and went in as a combat engineer, or at the time 12 Bravo. I don't know if they've changed the codes on that. For all you military guys, just remember I was a combat engineer. So, SAONs all the way. I was stationed up in Fort Drum, New York, after going to basic training in Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri, or Fort Lost in the Woods. Deployed in 2013 to Afghanistan from January to October. I was on Highway 1. I won't say between which fobs. Actually, technically I can say because it's been a long time. I was in between Fob Ghazni and Fob Arian. So in the news where you saw Fob Ghazni got attacked back in 2013, around June, July area, I was there. Well, it wasn't on the post, but we got locked out of the post at the time because literally the terrorists drove a truck full of IEDs into the side of the barricades for the FOB. Also, FOB is forward operate base for anybody that doesn't know. So it's essentially a mini post or mini base. But the terrorists drove into there, and they had small arms fire. We were locked out. We were not allowed to go return fire on them, even though we could see them, and it was a fucking shit show on our part. Yeah, that's about it.
Gotta love the rules of engagement.
Yes. All I did was drive around and wait to get blown up. Yeah. Or walk around and wait to step on one. But I got all my limbs. They work.
He's
We're
not
good.
Lieutenant Dan.
I'm not Lieutenant Dan. Lieutenant Dan! Okay. What else you got? Let's see here.
Better question, have you not broke a car that you own?
The Dakota hasn't broke yet.
Yet?
Yeah.
It came broke already. It came pre-broke. To be honest, let's see here. The first ever car I owned was the Grand Am, Pontiac Grand Am.
That blew up.
That blew up twice. I literally drove it I only owned it for like 2 weeks. Drove it for 2 days. One time it was fine. The next day it was blown up. Then got it back from the rebuild. Dude didn't rebuild it right. Fucking came back. It blew up. Neither one of them was my fault. Next vehicle was the Crown Vic. That was perfectly fine until it started overheating. I had to change a radiator in it and decided to screw up on the trans-cooler lines, and they kind of didn't want to come out. And I just said, fuck it, I don't need them anymore, and just clipped them off. And just didn't use trans-cooler lines for about 6 months. And then the transmission started locking up, so I sold it. That thing actually has probably been my best vehicle. I also had the Subaru, which literally I already mentioned it. It was just that rod, and then I sold the vehicle off. And the Mustang blew up, a month after I bought it, on my way here to Ohio, and then proceeded to drive it back 150 miles back to Indiana with a blown motor. Thank you, Mobile One Delvac.
Yeah. I forgot we had put the diesel oil in that one.
Yes, Mobile One Delvac diesel oil, what is it, 1540?
Yeah.
1540 weight. Thank you, Mobile One, for making that oil, because you got me home that day. A little shout out. If you want to sponsor us, go ahead, because we have it literally. We're going to be doing the oil change in the Dakota, and it's getting that. The Saturn already has it, and the Sport Track, I do believe, already has it.
No, I haven't got there yet.
Okay, so the Sport Trek's going to get it maybe eventually. But at least 2 of the 3 vehicles that we're going to be on the channel are going to be using Mobile One Delvac. So, come on, Mobile One, come and sponsor us. We'll take all your oil all day because we know your shit works. Because it works in our shit.
You sponsor the race car driver that work sponsors, so help me out here, please.
Alrighty, and then, yeah, that's about it. That's all I got for that stuff. Any other weird questions you guys got for me? Closing thoughts. Let's just say, I'm a weird motherfucker. Everybody calls me Tofu because it's easy to say. I like to full send things. I like to go sideways. I like to be on dirt and asphalt and concrete. Personally, I enjoy concrete the best because it's the least abrasive and the stuff that I can do the most shit on and not piss off track owners. Because I won't chip away at the concrete when doing slidey boy things or burnout things or totaling stuff into a concrete barrier, which probably will happen eventually. Hopefully the Gambler goes well. If you don't know what the Gambler is, we'll have a little video going on showing what the Gambler is and everything else like that. Or watch the videos there. I also stream on Twitch when I feel like it, when I'm not busy doing stuff, which I'm busy a lot, so not very often. Twitch.tv/Tofu. That is UEHARATOFU.
You really like the
Emphasis
FU
of the FU.
Exactly. I really like the FU part. Yeah, that's me in a nutshell. I'm 28 years old, ex-military, non-emergency medical transport. Done some other emergency management stuff back in the day. Done some rendezvous. I'm good at shooting, good at driving, all around. Just a general nice, big, giant teddy bear motherfucker that won't take no shit because I will claw your eyes out. It's true. I know how to do it. Just with my thumbs.